Coffe, Brain, and Cognition. So we want to look at the impact of coffee on mental health and cognition. So the main question that we want to answer today is, do you know that your daily coffee could actually help protect your brain? Most people take coffee for different reasons, including temporary boost to stay focused and sharp. So research evidence provide insight on coffee and how it affects your thinking, memory, and energy levels. And we want to look at these research evidence by reviewing a number of studies that has been done on this topic. So the first study was done by Taylor and Kilgore 2020. This study was done to examine the protective effect of caffeine on neurodegenerative cognitive decline in aging populations. The design of the study was meta-analysis of longitudinal prospective cohort studies. So this study included 13 studies with a total sample size of 94,880. So the finding of the studies were the pooled relative risk for higher caffeine consumption was around 0.84. This indicated moderate protection. Dementia had relative risk of 0.81. Mild cognitive impairment had a relative risk of 0.78. So the conclusion that was made by the study was that drinking moderate amount of coffee may protect against age-related cognitive decline, especially in dementia and mild cognitive impairment. The next study was done by Pham et al. 2021. The objective of the study was to examine whether habitual coffee consumption is associated with differences in brain volume or risk of dementia and stroke. So the design of the study was prospective cohort study, and the study had a sample size of 398,646 participants aged between 37 to 73 years. The findings of the study were that high coffee consumption, more than 6 cups per day, was associated with smaller brain volume and 53% higher odds of dementia, that with the odd ratio of 1.53 compared to 1 to 2 cups per day. There was no strong evidence for association with stroke. The conclusion made by the study was that drinking more than 6 cups of coffee per day could harm your brain's health and increase your risk of dementia, but moderate coffee intake of 1 to 2 cups seems safer. The next study was done by Chen et al. 2024. And the objective of the study was to determine association between caffeine consumption and higher risk of dementia, cognitive decline, and cognitive performance in individuals with mild cognitive impairment or dementia. So the design of the study was a systematic review, and this study included 61 studies with a total sample size of 153,070 total participants. The findings of the studies were that higher baseline coffee consumption was linked to slower cognitive decline in executive functions, attention, and early cognitive changes related to Alzheimer's disease. It was also associated with slower A-beta amyloid accumulation and reduced likelihood of progressing to higher A-beta amyloid burden. There was no link found with brain atrophy. So the conclusion made by the study was that drinking more coffee may help protect your brain from Alzheimer's by slowing cognitive decline and reducing harmful brain changes, but more studies are actually needed to confirm this kind of benefit. The next study was done by Johal et al. 2024. The objective of the study was to determine the relationship between coffee-derived chlorogenic acid and cognitive performance. The design of the study was a systematic review and meta-analysis, and this included 23 studies. The findings of the study was that chronic CGA consumption may benefit cognition, although non-significant effect. So the conclusion was that drinking coffee with CGA might help cognition over time, but this one was not statistically significant. So the next study was done by Zhu et al. 2024, and the objective was to confirm their association between coffee, tea, and caffeine consumption and the risk of cognitive disorders. The design of the study was systematic review and dose-response meta-analysis. So this study included 33 studies and with a total sample size of 389,505 participants. So the findings of this study were: coffee and tea consumption reduced cognitive disorder risk with a relative risk of 0.73 for coffee and 0.68 for tea. The study found that optimal coffee intake should be 2.5 cups per day. Tea intake showed a linear reduction of 11% per cup per day, and stronger protection was observed in men compared to women. So the conclusion made by the study was that drinking moderate amount of coffee and tea may help prevent cognitive decline and dementia, with 2.5 cups of coffee or at least 1 cup of tea daily being ideal. So the overall conclusion we can make from this evidence that we have seen are: moderate consumption of coffee, particularly 1 to 2 cups per day, may help reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. However, high coffee intake, especially beyond 6 cups per day, may have negative impacts on brain health, indicating the importance of moderation for cognitive protection. So, thank you everyone. Now you are well informed about your coffee intake habits. So these ones are additional references, actually the references for the studies that we have reviewed, which you can get the articles and read for further information. Thank you.